How's it going, everybody on YouTube? It's Mystical here, back for another commentary. Figured in this one I would explain and answer finally, since I think I've been mentioning it for like a couple of years on the channel, why I no longer live stream or don't choose to do it anymore. And I figured Halo 3 match would be appropriate because back in the day this is one of the prime games I used to live stream all the time on the Xbox 360. And it was one of the ones where I'd get a lot of viewers. Well, a lot is kind of subjective because my channel was small. But yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about that, explain why I don't really do it anymore. And when most people think of live streaming, they probably think of Twitch or, more recently the YouTube live streaming. But you actually have to go all the way back to the days of Justin TV. That's actually when I started live streaming. It was before Twitch existed, before YouTube. Streaming was nowhere near as big and profitable as it was when I first started. And in a way, that's kind of what I enjoyed about it, the same way when YouTube wasn't, this big money-making machine. It was more about just having content on YouTube for fun, and it was not this giant revenue maker. But that's besides the point. Basically, if you've never seen or heard of Justin TV, it was basically, I believe, the same company that had made Twitch. That was their original place. And Justin TV was not just gaming. It had anything you could think of, people just doing video vlogs and sports and gaming. There were different categories for all sorts of live streams of anything. It was a giant mosh pit of whatever you could watch, basically. They had and it was very what's the word, it was very relaxed. It was not this very strict formula in terms of how you had to make your channel layout. Like, you could customize so much CSS/HTML, color coding and backgrounds. I mean, you could have the most terrible looking bright channel, or you could have a really professional. It had a lot of customization. And in 2010 is when I started to watch live streams, and this one guy had he was one of the higher quality streams. 720p back then. Live streaming was pretty amazing to do because it takes a lot of processing power to live stream, especially if you're having to upload that to the server while playing a game. Your computer has to do a lot of outputting. And that got me really intrigued, and it wasn't as very easy. There wasn't as many devices or well-known ways how to live stream such quality while being able to play at that same quality. Because that was the trick, is, 720p was the norm back then. Trying to not only stream it but play at the same time was hard to do, unless you had very high-end devices. But I learned what I needed to do and set up everything. So basically, in the end of 2010, I bought the equipment I needed and everything. Very low end, I should say. And I started to stream myself. And then in early 2011 is when I created this YouTube channel. For those that don't know, this YouTube channel was actually a byproduct of my stream. The channel was merely a place for me to upload my best matches of the night of the stream, because there was an upload system from Justin TV to YouTube. And so this was really not getting much traffic. It was only there for my viewers that wanted to see content after I had already played that night or whatever. And I had a very tiny following, and I didn't mind it. It was cool. And then very early 2011, I got a new computer and got a Blackmagic Pro, which is a capture card which could, stream up to 1080p, and I had a new PC, my first custom-built PC, and with that I was able to stream my first 720p quality at the beginning of 2011. It was very exciting. With it, I used Wirecast, which is a professional streaming program. And I created all my own graphics, like intros and outros, and I had overlays. I did a lot of stuff. And I had fun with it. That's what I was doing it for. It was a lot of fun. And that lasted for several months. I had, to me, getting 10 viewers on a night was pretty good. I was not a giant streamer. I had no expectations to be this giant streamer. I thought it was cool, a single person would be watching, but every single person that did come to my channel would always tell me, man, your quality's really good. Why don't you have more viewers? It's kind of the same thing I get told on my YouTube channel from time to time, because I have, 1080p, 60 frames per second video, and a decent gameplay and variety, and people wonder why. It was kind of the same thing with my stream. I just basically answer, I don't know, I'm just doing it for fun. And then Twitch got announced, and that was kind of the beginning of my downfall. Most people are like, what are you talking about? Twitch is great for streaming, and it's centralized gaming, just for gaming. They had the beta going on, and I tried, and you had, if you were a Justin TV streamer, you had you could stream on either the Twitch or the Justin TV platform, because it was basically the same thing, just kind of split, in terms of what your stream would look like. And you could opt in to completely transform to Twitch, or you could opt out and still stay on Justin TV till it went away. And immediately right off the bat, I didn't like Twitch because it was very, it was more professional looking, which sounds good, but for me I didn't like it because you couldn't customize your channel's color. I believe you couldn't have a banner. Like, it took away so many customization options, and I really didn't like that because I like to be able to personalize my stuff. And if you go on Twitch now, you'll see there's not many things people can customize. It's mainly the little blocks at the bottom and stuff like that. And, most people probably don't care about it, but I enjoyed being able to colorize. But it wasn't a deal breaker, obviously. I was just kind of let down that there were less options than what Justin TV allowed. And then a couple months later, Justin TV unfortunately got rid of the gaming section. It was still up before it completely shut down for other type of streams. But it was all on Twitch. That's where everything started to get really crazy. Twitch started to grow, more and more viewers, and people started getting into the whole live streaming thing, and at that time it became even harder to get viewers on my channel, despite having been an original Justin TV streamer. And then at the same time, between the big games I'd stream were Halo 3, Mass Effect, and Battlefield. Unfortunately, with, as things get bigger in a community, things get more toxic too. And I would always get a bunch of crazy people, elitist players that thought they were like the most pro player ever. I don't know why they'd come to my channel, but they always tell me I was completely terrible. And I actually got DDoS attacked a few times when I would try streaming Halo 3. I think because the game was on Halo 3, it's pretty easy if you search at the same time in a ranked playlist because of the low population. Chances are you get matched with them, and that's what they would do. So they would purposely match at the same time, because I was streaming obviously, and it takes a while to find a match, so they would have plenty of time despite the 10-20 second delay. And then they get in the game, and then you could, back then you could get people's IPs and boot them offline. And they would literally shut down my internet, so I couldn't even stream. And that was really lame. And so there would be times where I would literally just not stream, because I wanted to just play Halo 3 without people trying to ruin it. So I would literally not stream and wait a while after I got knocked offline and keep playing without streaming. But even then I went through that crap and didn't deal with it too much. It was basically between all that stuff and the people coming to the channel being rude and stuff, and it was also the amount of effort I had to put in. I was still working full time obviously, and trying to stream very often and set it up and make sure it was working every day was a lot of work. It was starting to become more stressful. I didn't have this time that other people would have to, get in a lot of viewers and stay streaming very long every night. And then, I started to stream less and less. Instead of doing it almost daily, it was like 2 or 3 times a week. It wasn't all bad. I had a lot of fun nights in Halo and Mass Effect 3. I would stream that a lot. And then the big killer came, The streamer that I mentioned at the beginning of this, the one that I actually watched stream, where I saw a 720p video and got inspired to kind of do it myself. I was playing, I believe, Battlefield, and I kept getting in this, because I think there's no way to really avoid certain players. This guy would keep going into my games and like being either on the enemy team or on my team, blocking my view, getting in the way, blah blah blah. You know, he's completely trolling me in the Battlefield match, and it was really annoying. And I think he did this for like 3 or 4 hours, like the whole stream. Like, I couldn't believe it. This one guy wasting all his time. And then after I was done streaming, after that super annoying crap, I looked up the guy's gamer tag because there was like Battlefield stats. And then I noticed it was friended with the streamer that I used to watch. And I kept digging in more, and then I find out that he's part of this group or whatever it was that likes to troll people. And then basically he purposely went in and ruined my matches for me, and it was completely annoying why somebody would do that. And so then I just decided I'm done streaming if this is what it's going to be like. It's not worth it all the time, and with how many how much work you have to do for so little views, and then you get people like that you looked up to that, you know, would come in and ruin other people's streams, you know, smaller streamers. You know, I'm like, I'm done with this. So I basically had it with that. So yeah, that last match ended. So I've just got the beginning of this match to continue. Got a couple more minutes I can talk about this because it wasn't quite finished. If you're wondering why it all of a sudden switched from Narrows to Citadel here. But yeah, it was a combination of things that made me quit live streaming. And I know things are probably better now, or maybe they're not. I don't know. I've seen some pretty toxic stuff still on the streams and heard a bunch of crazy stuff. But I found that playing in the moment with the live stream wasn't actually what I wanted to do in the end. I found it as a fun 2 to 3 year hobby, but now I kind of enjoy YouTube more because it's my content's always there. It's readily available 24/7. I'm not having to be a moderator and a gamer at the same time. I don't have to put in like tons of prep work to start a stream and all that. Also, if I want to stop playing a game, I can just stop. I don't have to explain to the stream or whatever why I'm quitting. You know, so it was a combination of factor of things. I tried it. I had fun while I did it before it got really crappy. And then, you know, if you're not like some female gamer or you're not a well-known streamer, your chances of, you know, ever getting big is slim to none, unless you do something completely crazy, like you ruin other people's games or do some really, really rare game or something. You know, it's really hard to get any type of notoriety, I suppose you can say, on the live streaming. So it's better for me just to record with my Elgato and then do commentary later and just focus on my YouTube channel, which I've been doing since I quit in 2013 live streaming. But I hope that explains it for everybody. I'm not saying never say never, you know, because YouTube does have a streaming thing now, and I guess because it's not part of Twitch, it might be better because I can still be on YouTube technically, but at least for now I have no plans because I'm enjoying just having the setup I have. So hopefully that doesn't leave people disappointed, but the good news is I'll always be around for YouTube. So until then, I hope you enjoyed the commentary, and I'll see you guys later.